welcome to the Tesseract Podcast. Thanks for joining us. I am your host, G.A. Posthones. Today's podcast is brought to you by tesseractband.co.uk, which is the official website for Tesseract. You can get our merchandise on there, so our t-shirts, our phone cases, caps, posters, banners, dog beds, etc. We don't actually have dog beds. It's also where any new music will be announced, and it's also where we announce our tours, so all the places that we're going to play around the world. So please head on over there. You can also sign up to our mailing list through the website, where you'll find out about these things before anyone else, which is pretty cool. So head on over to tesseractband.co.uk if you're interested in anything related to Tesseract.
TesseracT Podcast. Not sure what number it is, because I don't know what order we're releasing these
27.
in. We're just recording a bunch. I'm sat in Milton Keynes,
The land of dreams.
the land of dreams, with Mr. Acle.
Hi.
Hi. We've had a day of...
Quite a productive day.
Quite a productive day, selling off a bunch of stuff that we've had holed up in our studios in Reading. Old CDs, not old CDs, copies of Sonder, copies of vinyl and backdrops and drum heads from the Ice Cold gig and the Jaeger.
And a random skateboard.
A few other bits and bobs. But it was quite nice. We were just talking about this, getting together outside of a gig environment, because I don't actually remember the last time that happened other than maybe for a wedding.
Yeah, and I said that to Marcel. Me and Marcel met up at a pub in London last week, and he was like, yeah, it's like we're friends or something.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Don't be stupid.
I know. I'm just going to move the laptop in between
That's it.
both of us so that it's about...
Might need that mouse in a minute.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's trapped.
Oh, no.
Trapped in the wreckage
So,
of audio.
the whole point of this particular podcast here... Sorry, I'm just moving my laptop around, so it's probably making noises and stuff, but we have to deal with it. The whole point of this podcast is squeaky chair. We are going to play a bunch of Tesseract demos, a bunch of songs that either might get turned into songs one day, or
too far old to be...
are far too old to be used
left
as anything.
Yeah.
There's a couple of songs that we've cherry picked. There's a couple of demos that we've picked out that are super old ideas that kind of the very start of Tesseract, way before Tesseract was even a band, ideas.
Sure.
There's a couple of ideas that, or at least one idea, looking at that selection, that is from before one.
These are all really old.
They are. There's one that turned into Eden.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that two that we haven't used, maybe three.
Which one? I don't know what that one is.
But yeah, we'll go through
Where do we
it.
start?
Well, where we could start is at the beginning of it all, because I've actually got a bunch of things.
At the beginning of
Jesus. In preparation for ever doing a podcast with you, I thought, you know what would be good is if I made some questions, because there's a whole lot more to this chair. There's a whole lot more to a podcast with you than just playing a couple of demos. So I'm going to quickly go through this list of things, and then we'll go through demos. Maybe we'll do demos like in the middle of it, but maybe we won't. Maybe we will. First question.
Go for it.
Tell us about the rock school, where you started out.
Well, started back in 1985, yeah. So,
No, it didn't. Well, I mean, it might have for you.
Rock school, how old was I? Rock school was year 10.
That's school.
So I don't know what that is in America, like grade 9 or something.
No, I think
so
our years translate across to their grades.
Oh,
So
I didn't really see. I was probably like 15 years old, 14 years old. Shy little bastard. My music, I was a bit of a teacher's pet for my music. My music, what do you call it, GCSE. And I was like, yeah, she go to this rock school thing, some just go check it out, sort of thing. I was like, nah, not really that bothered.
Mm.
I think just my music teacher just forced me to go, basically.
Mm.
But if it wasn't for that, I went there and there's, you know, there's loads of metal guitar sounds. I was like, oh, I like this. This is nice, yeah.
I'm going to be a grebo.
Yeah, I'm going to be a grebo now. But yeah, I ended up going to rock school and I made a lot of friends there. Basically, my friends in Milton Keynes has probably stemmed, or a lot of them have stemmed from that. And, you know, Noddy from Fell Silent, the whole Fell Silent group. Basically, if it wasn't for rock school, there wouldn't be a Tesseract, there wouldn't be a Fell Silent. It was like one of those chaos sphere moments, you know. And the guitar teacher that I had there, I remember him distinctly saying, "Oh, you should check out this band called Meshuggah." This is like 1997 or 1996 or something.
No way.
It's like, all right, checked it out. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't like this.
To be fair, the first time I heard Meshuggah, I had no idea what to think. I was in a car park outside of a rehearsal studio in Wolverhampton, which says it all. And the bassist from my band at the time was playing me a song from one of the albums before Chaos Sphere, so it was kind of really trashy. Probably Destroy.
Destroy, Erase, Improve.
Yeah, that one. And I'd never heard anything like it. I didn't know what to think. The only thing I'd heard that was anything like technical was Sixth, I guess, at the time. And I was just like, I don't even know if I like this yet. But then, of course, it gets amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think the first time I heard it was Sickening, I think. But yeah, it was the fact that the first time I heard it, I just don't like this.
Yeah.
But eventually it clicked, and then...
Where's the four? Where's the one?
path to... Yeah. So if it wasn't for rock school, it'd be I owe a lot to Mr. Dirk Griffin and Andy Glass, because I don't think Tesseract would exist without it, to be honest. It would be a very different thing if it did. But...
It's funny that you take it back that far, because I do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
There was a teacher at my school who...
Pivotal moment. Sort of
yeah, my music teacher by the name of Rhys Galley.
That's cool.
Who...
and Paul Batson, sorry, I haven't mentioned him. He still follows me on Facebook. So.
Does he?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I would love, I'm sure I can do this somehow, to reconnect with my high school music teacher, because he started at the school at the same time that I did. And I remember there was an open evening. It probably would have been year 10, so the same age that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the whole music centre for the school. I was at a good school that had an entire music centre that was separate to the rest of the school. And it was open for parents and future potential students to come down and check it out. And I was in one of the rooms, because we had these separate kind of soundproof rooms, playing with the band that I was in at that school. And my mum and dad and sister would come into the open evening to just check out the school. And I remember my parents telling me, maybe not immediately after this, but at some point after this evening, that the Mr. Galley, the music teacher, had gone up to my mum and said that there's a lot of drummers in the school, but your son is a drummer. And that was something that stuck with me. That's cool. All the way through. It's like there's a lot of people that think they're drummers in the school, but your son is actually a drummer. Yeah. And that was just one of those things that every time I was like, yeah. It was just a little voice in the back of my mind saying, "No, I'm a drummer. I'm supposed to be doing this."
Nice to edge you on.
Yeah.
To the next. Yeah, that's cool. I get that.
He's probably got no memory of saying that, but it's for sure been one of those little subliminal things. But anyway.
Yeah. I get that.
You've already said the words, but tell us about Fell Silent, because that was the thing before. That was your band before Tesseract.
It was, and yeah, I guess that came about again from rock school, meeting Noddy, the drummer, who's in Heart of a Coward now, and Nima, the singer. It just came out from rock school, I guess. And the Pits. There's a lot to be said about Paul Rivers and the Pits. There still is to a degree. But there was a big scene in Milton Keynes, the Pits. It was a great venue, 500 to 600 cap venue. It was a great sounding PA,
They transformed it because it was like a sports hall, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a leisure centre, but just with a big open room, but just,
turned it into a really cool venue.
Yeah, and there's just a really good, loyal fan base for it. But yeah, Fell Silent it was like my first band, basically. Well, I had Mikkel Barish before that with some friends of mine, which was my literally my first band, but Fell Silent felt like the first sort of, went on tour event in Shikari for a couple of weeks and stuff. Played like,
You had
my first sense of proper gigging,
bandom.
proper touring and, gigs outside of the UK.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing Fell Silent, and you guys were...
that's how I met you.
That's how you met me.
Yeah. And, well, the whole band, to be fair.
And Moss and Metal.
And Moss and Metal, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we played in Luton, was it? We went to Shikari.
That was me and you.
Yeah. So it was you,
Araya, my old band, supporting Fell Silent,
then at Shikari.
I remember at the end of that gig turning around and you were like, "Ooh, let's
hello, kiss kiss. You want to play drums in my band? Hello, you sound good."
But in hindsight, having listened earlier on to some Tesseract demos from a long time ago,
we've been speaking on MSN Messenger. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, it was MSN Messenger and MySpace back in the day.
Just kind of randomly messaging each other.
And that is a long time ago.
Yeah, that's weird.
Jeez.
But a similar thing happened obviously with Moss and James or Metal's old band 209. We played in Bedford Esquires. So, that guy can slap the bass. Hello. Oh, and Abby as well, for fuck's sake.
And Abby.
Yeah.
Would that have been that bass?
The Work, yeah.
It probably would have been that bass, wouldn't it?
Which has
been old bass.
It's been on every album, I think.
Mm.
Been on one.
Toured extensively and
State,
played on
Polaris, Sonda. Might get demoted, though.
Really?
I do love it, but maybe I think it might be just,
Overplayed.
Oh, yeah. Its heyday was Polaris. It sounded sweet in Polaris, but it's kind of getting a bit...
Speaking of... What was your first guitar?
My first guitar. First ever guitar... let's ignore acoustics, because they're boring.
First guitar you started recording with?
First ever electric guitar was a Gibson... How do you pronounce it? Epiphone? Epiphany? I don't know.
Epiphone.
Epiphone, yeah. SG.
I remember that.
400, SG 400, SG 40, whatever it is. Yeah. And that's why I love those kind of shapes. I think maybe that's why I like mayonnaise, perhaps. They're kind of similar-ish. That's why I've always stuck with the Swamp Ash. Well, that grain, like the SG. For my 18th birthday, my mum bought me an SG Voodoo, which I love. I've still got somewhere stashed away. It's this whole Swamp Ash. Yeah, the mayonnaise kind of
open grain,
custom thing I've got. Yeah. I remember tone hunting for Altered State, and I had the Ibanez guitars, which are great. I love Ibanez. But then I just picked up my old SG Voodoo, which I haven't touched in years. So it sounds so much better. It must be because it's made of Swamp Ash, and I think that's when I started to reach out to mayonnaise.
Really?
They made
you could tell the wood made that much of a difference?
Well, there's something different about it. I mean, the Ibanez guitar I was using at the time was made of basswood, which is basically MDF.
Yeah.
That SG.
Yeah.
Ash is like, it must be that. So,
shit. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I thought when I was in building snare drums that I'd be able to notice a difference between any of the snares that we've made. And honestly... You don't know, but
if you mic'd it up, it'd be different.
Maybe if you mic it up, if you like A/B
in a control room with the same, don't move the mic,
Yeah,
same gain, same room.
To be fair, I'm not just A/Bing them like that, so you're probably right. But you make one and you make
a loud noise.
It makes a loud noise, and you're dealing with
a very transient,
a 14-inch drum that's 6 inches deep that is about a centimetre thick of wood or more.
If you recorded it, you'd hear a difference.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But yeah. In front of you, it's a bit different.
Do you prefer playing guitar or being do you prefer going on tour basically and playing guitar on stage, or being at home and being a producer and writing?
The second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
No,
I like nesting at home. I get more. I like gigging. Gigging's cool, but not when you're in fucking desert in the back end arse of nowhere. Like, where the fuck are we playing?
Tired.
Yeah. But no, it's great. Obviously, we have great festival runs and fun shows. It is fun. but I get more
enjoyment.
more of a, what do you call it, reward, self-satisfaction thing out of, oh, this is going good when I'm writing a song. Like, oh yeah, I get way more like, like, I don't know, kind
That's
of
what pushes you
endorphin rush. Not, I don't know what it is. Yeah, just excitement from it when I'm writing a song and it's going well. Well, like happened when we were jamming with Martin Grech, and me and you and Martin, we were jamming at Peter Miles's place when we were writing Hexes. That might be a good cue for that, actually. I don't know if we saved that one. We didn't save that one.
We can pull that across.
Just writing that, and it was just like, oh, this is fun. Just jamming, and it sounds like you're in the pocket, that kind of shit. Yeah, I get more satisfaction. That's probably the word.
Yeah.
From that.
That's fair.
It's fun, but I'm always worried about, oh God, what's going to go wrong? Or
because something... Well,
I'm out of tune. Oh, fuck.
It's easy for something to go wrong given the amount of technology that we kind of rely on to do the show that we need.
Yeah.
You know what you just said is a good chance to get into a demo. So let's play it on here, and I'll replace the terrible podcast audio with the demo. So
wait, the one I was on about,
any of the...
Oh, let's pick a random school one.
Let's do the Devon one, because we're just talking about
Devon.
You said
Devon.
Devon, yeah, not Devian.
Which one was it?
Was it on?
It was one of these ones. Let's do that one.
Jam 2.
This is what became Hexes, basically.
Yes.
Starts to fall to shit a little bit, but you can see how it turned into Hexes, because we were literally playing this riff over for about an hour, so just playing around with it. I've got it's like a 2-hour session of us just noodling around, and then kind of, it's really listening to the whole thing. Oh, that's quite a good bit, actually. You can hear us sliding in and out, like, get into a good bit like that. It's just like, ooh, you could use that, and then it's another 20 minutes of
fucking
everyone's noodling about, and then it kind of, somebody's picked up on something. We don't jam enough because we don't have the opportunity to.
But we did that weekend.
Yeah, that was fun.
So, for a bit of context, that isn't what most Tesseract demos sound like. That's was a example of a jam.
The only time we've jammed, me and you, I think.
The only time that me and you the only time that we've jammed with an intention of trying to write something, because
we were just literally making noise for about 2 or 3 hours, I think.
Yeah, we'd woken up one morning. Yeah. We're in Devon at Middle Farm Studios because me and Acle are both doing a little bit of recording for Martin Grech. For an album that is still unreleased years later, and it's one of the best albums I've heard in a long time.
That's true.
He needs to put that out. Anyway, enough of that. We woke up on one of the mornings, a couple of days in, and decided to just hit record and play, because the studio was nicely set up. We'd dialed in all the sounds, and you started riffing about. We ended up with like 3 jams by the looks of things, because there's jam 1, jam 2 and jam 3.
The ones I exported.
Yeah, the little clips of not complete
3 hours.
Shit.
It's about 3 minutes worth there.
Exactly. But it was just riffing. It was just messing around. Yeah. And every now and then we'd lock into something, or kind of half lock into something that ended up becoming Hexes.
Yeah, it was the basis for it.
It was the little inception moments of Hexes. which was kind of cool. And as you say, we don't do that often enough because we're not in the same room.
Well, yeah. That's probably the only time me and you have really had a proper jam like that, really.
Ever.
Yeah, probably.
Which is crazy.
Just do little bits of Dan sometimes, like.
We should probably get in a room a little bit more.
Be nice to, but you live 5,000 miles away now, so.
True. We could do it the next couple of weeks, though.
Yeah, I'm down with
that. Yeah, come to Studio 4, have a jam.
Oh, actually, that's true. I'd like to hear that.
Could do that.
Yeah. We'll figure that out after, but yes,
Yeah.
I'm down. Yeah.
So that's a little bit of Hexes. Let's see what other questions I got for you.
Mm-hmm.
On producing, because I knew that would be your answer, what software do you use, and can you recommend any particular pieces of hardware or software that are your essentials?
Cubase, because I've been using it. Well, Cubase or Nuendo, they're pretty much the same thing. I've been using that since, probably since I was 20, so I've been using it for,
50 years.
Yeah, best part of 15 years. Good old Steinberg sorting us out, helping the band out as well. Represent. Hardware I can't do without. Guitar helps.
A guitar?
Producing.
What I mean by hardware is like, is there anything that you've got that is rack gear? Yeah, like the stuff that is in front of you right now, because we're in Acle's studio and there's just knobs and whistles.
To be honest, yeah,
all over the place.
Especially the API and the Neve, they're nice, but I'm realising I prefer just to be able to open. If I'm writing, I want to be able to open up an old project and not have to load up different, recall different settings on my analog outboard gear.
Yeah.
So, a good computer is important. I think a stable setup. Also, I got the SonarWorks thing. That's just the room EQ wizard. So it measures your room. It plays like sine waves and blips and blops and stuff.
Yeah.
And this room I'm in is quite small, and it's got nodes and frequencies which aren't quite right in the room. And it fixes it for you. And it's not the best way to do it, but since it's like 200 quid for the mic and the software. And since I've got it, my mixes, or I feel my mixes have got so much better. I've only been using it for 9 months or something.
You didn't have that for Sonder, did you?
No.
And
I've literally had it for like 9 months, a year, best part of a year.
So that would explain why the newest demos for album 5, Sludge basically,
Sludge,
sounds. If you A/B that with Sonder, it sounds like a bigger song already, and it's just a demo, and it sounds bigger than Sonder. It's
just like I was always adding, low end into the mixes because I like bass, but I think I was adding a bit too much.
Yeah,
the bass is just because my room was a bit dodged basically. I should have used the software before. I think good monitors, a good computer, good monitoring.
What monitors?
Good room, and this SonarWorks EQ, a good room to be able to mix in. And I'm using PMC monitors, which are lovely.
They do sound stupid.
They're a little bit hi-fi, but you do get used to them, and it's hi-fi in a kind of detail way. You can pick it up, you can pick away at the mix sort of thing once you get used to it.
From the front, they look like they're going to be really small. Then you stand up and realise they're about a metre long. Not a metre, but they're massive.
Even the depth of them.
The depth of them.
Yeah,
is
yeah, sure.
They're so deep.
Yeah, definitely.
So much clarity though. I was really surprised when you crank it.
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah, for how big they are. Yeah, pretty good.
What was your first live show?
Jesus. Trying to remember.
I'm guessing first live show, like first ever live show, and then maybe
just
first
playing guitar.
Live show.
You mean just playing guitar in front of people, or like an actual band?
Both. First live show that you remember.
The only one I can remember, I think, was again Mr. Paul Badson, my music teacher. I'd have been year 8, year 9. Yeah, year 9. So it'd have been like 13, 14. And it was probably like a parents' evening, like concert thing, like listen to me play a song, and everyone's playing the flute and the clarinet, and then me and my mate come up and I'm using a metal zone and like listen to me play Nirvana. I think I was singing as well. God, that's embarrassing. But the morning of that gig, got into school, and some girl accidentally pushed my guitar over and broke the neck.
What?
So I was stressed. So the headstock like properly snap. It was my first ever. It was my first ever guitar. It was my Gibson SG 400, which Hank bought me. My first ever guitar when I was 8. She's like, "Yeah, it's my first gig ever. Yeah." I came to school. I think she like moved the chair.
Oh,
and it
God.
snapped. And I was like, because when you're a little kid, and I was like 13, but what did I do? I think I was crying because of the sentimental value of the guitar.
Oh my God.
And oh my God, I've got a gig. And then my guitar teacher at the time to just take my telly. I was like, "A telly? What the fuck is this? I don't know how to play this." But yeah, so that was my first gig.
Man.
A gig going wrong. That was my first experience of a gig, so I guess that's the best way to learn, I guess.
Yeah, in at the deep end
Yeah.
when you're 8 or
Being
something.
terrified.
Jesus, that's horrendous.
And then you're just playing in front of parents who are like, "Yeah, what is this bloody disgusting rubbish? This isn't the bassoon."
When did you stop doing a normal day job to just do music?
I think we all stopped doing that at a similar time, didn't we? I think.
Probably, yeah.
Ish. Just before One was released.
Did you leave your job
2009,
for that
2010.
America tour?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, the first ever American tour we did with Devon. Yeah, so I would have quit 2009, 2010 probably.
It was in 2010, wasn't it?
But I did have a very supportive line manager at my last job, just office work. He's still a fan of the band, actually. That's probably how I got the job. But
Really?
this is a bit of a griever.
Randomly, you remember you telling me this, and we talked about it earlier. So where my studios are in Reading and where we've rehearsed forever,
Yeah.
one of the first rehearsals, you came down and looked at the premises.
Gibbons!
You looked at the premises
I
opposite.
did that.
And were like, I drew that logo? That's really random. And you were the person that designed the logo for the business opposite my studios in Reading, miles away from where your work was.
I used to work for a fucking Hinge company. It was mainly IT support, but and then you had a bit of drawery stuff. But
Not many people work for Hinge companies.
yeah, skip to the end with that one.
What helpful advice, and by helpful advice I don't mean don't do it. What helpful advice would you give to anyone trying to be a musician? If there was someone who was like how old you were when you went to rock school, or someone coming out of college maybe that is like got a jaded idea of what it might mean to be a musician, knowing what you know now as a 30-something-year-old boy, what would you say to them?
30-year-old boy.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, that's going to keep going off unless I turn it off.
I don't know. Keep at it. You'll get there, pal.
You'll get there, pal.
I think, I don't know, you do need some kind of determination or just strive, keep chipping away at it. Because I feel like I'm doing this, what's the word? I don't know. You've got to enjoy it, so you just got to keep doing it, I think, and just keep refining yourself. I think that's what I feel like I'm doing with the production side of things. Like, I'll be happy with something, and then 2 years later, like, what the fuck was that? That was crap. But it's all an evolution, so they're all like little steps. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm getting at. But
I think from the perspective that I have of your work process, you're very good at focusing in and improving on
very niche little bits.
Yeah,
I'll probably focus on a very small part, and then
that kind of thing. You've like dialed in the little things that only you can hear, that to other people when they hear the overall thing they're like,
what are you doing? Yeah, I guess it's all about the 1% which stack up, which I was going about.
You're now into the world of 0.1%, and not many people get to that stage. But I think focusing in rather than out, looking at what everyone else is doing and go, oh my god, I'm never going to be able to do that, is an important.
Just take time. Well, we're listening to again. This might be a good opportunity to play an old demo.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's play the earliest one that we've got.
Because what is the oldest one?
The Part 3 Behringer DI box.
Or
Concealing Fate.
That's the oldest one. So this is from what? I was probably 21.
Let's play that.
This is like 15 years old.
Something to mention, if we are talking over it, we're probably not going to be able to hear it on here, so we're probably best to play it and then we'll talk over it after.
Cool.
Oh Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah!
How great is that snare? Why doesn't your snare sound like that, Jay?
It does.
Fuck's sake. But that was like, what, 15 years ago, and like my first mix.
Yeah, I mean, that literally was
Gotta
about
start
15 years ago. So, my memory of that, along with a shitload of other songs,
Yeah,
was me hassling you on MySpace for a very long time. Or maybe not that long.
MySpace.
Probably a little while. Maybe before we met. Or maybe after we met. I can't remember. When
Probably
you
would.
sent me an MP3 CD in the mail
Oh.
of everything that you'd got, because we didn't have, even then, fast enough internet connections
Yeah.
to send each other
Jesus.
a like 700 megabyte
God,
file.
we're old.
Yeah, we are old. But that was like the preferred way of doing it. I'll send you a CD. And it was MP3s of all of the shit that you'd written up to that point that was a
This is good
demo
stuff.
like that.
The pre-one stuff.
And yeah, before one. And
I'd written a whole album's worth of stuff, pretty much.
you had?
I then realised that this is crap. Let's do this. Let's start again. And then Concealing Fate started to evolve eventually. But yeah.
Well, that was it, wasn't it? So you on that CD there was exports. There was it like part 1 to 12 or something,
Yeah.
and it was the 115 UUP thing.
Fucking nerd.
That was a very early Tesseract album. And it wasn't ever exported as an album, but you could
No.
kind of piece these.
There's
12
bits of it on YouTube as well. There are people close to post stuff on the Meshuggah forums and other music forums about it. It's fair, that was kind of the start of Tesseract, I guess, as a little project. Or the name, at least. That's how it started.
Yeah, but that
Can't diss
was
that.
the very early days, wasn't it? And those demos, there was a bunch of those demos on that CD, as well as the very early Tesseract Concealing Fate demos, like Concealing Fate Part 5, I think, was on there, and some
That's right. Yeah.
some early bits of Part 1, but only bits. It wasn't a full song.
Yeah.
Sunrise and Nascent were finished songs by then, or at least
That was
like
2004, Sunrise. That's weird.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
April 24th, 2004.
Maybe
I
that was
remember
coming
Sunrise.
about then. I mean, it wasn't probably as finished as it is on the album, but it was like there was a version of Sunrise
With Julian.
with Julian,
Yeah.
and there was a version of Nascent, and there was there was like a shitload of other riffs, and I just listened to only that for like at least 6 months. I didn't listen to anything else. That was all I listened to. I just like internalized all of those riffs,
That's cool.
and you found most of them again on an old
All
hard drive recently, which is
bits
where
of
that
it,
one just
yeah.
came from.
I haven't got any of the Attila dates, though, all the Sunrise, Nascent stuff.
What are your memories of writing that stuff? Like, when you were...
I don't know, I was quite stoned back in those days. My stoner days.
You were stoned. That is where the magic comes from.
It's a bit of a hazy area. My early 20s, I don't remember much about my early 20s. Yeah, seriously.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was also the Fell Silent days, so I was probably jamming with the Fell Silent a lot, and I remember there being a bit of a, should I jam this with, or use this riff with, should I use this riff with Fell Silent, use this riff with Tesseract?
Yeah.
But, oh wait, Tesseract isn't a band, so it'd be, trying to find, Fell Silent was kind of just like a band, but I always wanted to use, mostly with Tesseract we use backing tracks. I'd love to be able to have 6 guitarists on stage, or sax player or keyboard player synths and stuff, but can't afford that. We can't afford what we're doing now, let alone having that. So
yeah.
But it was just having when we first used to jam, like having a click and backing tracks was like wow.
Yeah,
and MIDI triggers and stuff. I mean, that was probably 15 years ago as well, to be fair, almost.
It was...
So that was quite a new thing.
I think 2008 was our first show, or 2007.
So we were probably jamming in 2006 or something.
No, 2007 was our first show.
We must have been rehearsing like a year or two before that.
Yeah.
Anyway, man.
Damn, we've been going a long time. We're old boys.
Yeah.
They're actually the prepared questions I've got, so I'm not going to rattle on with any more.
Good.
I've got some stuff about album 5, but I'll get into that after.
We'll do that after. What else can we play?
Let's play the Concealing Fate end bit, because this...
Which one is that again?
That is the thing that didn't make it into Concealing Fate.
Is it the part 5 one?
I think it's...
It's the one that's in Phil Silent as well.
Maybe.
I will play it anyway and see what happens.
Nice. Okay.
Loop.
Start again.
So that was Concealing Fate Part 5, but then that section got used in a Phil Silent song, which at the time was a bit of a struggle. It's like, oh, should I use this in Phil Silent or Tesseract? And so, yeah, that part got taken out of the original Concealing Fate Part 5.
See, I remember that as a part of Concealing Fate, and earlier on we found a 15-minute jam that was one of the first ever jams that we had, which we're not going to play on this podcast because it's terrible.
It's my first rehearsal.
It's literally one of our first rehearsals.
It's quite funny though.
But that jam was the 15 minutes of... because it used to be only 15 minutes long.
It's like part 1, part 2,
part 1,
3,
part 2.
But they're very, well...
different, shorter and different.
Little bits like, oh, that wasn't in there. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, it's just a 15-minute version of Concealing Fate. It's very different. And very badly played by me. And...
all of us.
That, I'm pretty sure, either that or something like that was in there at the end. And it's very interesting hearing that, because I remember all those riffs, but I used to know them all really well, and I've not heard them in literally years. And hearing that for the first time, I realised, oh my god! I
bet we'd feel the same if we had to play Exile now. We haven't played that in a couple of years.
I listened to that the other day.
So, how does that song go? We've toured that song a lot.
A lot, yeah. I listened to Altered State the other day all the way through.
Yeah, I did that like at Christmas time. I was just like, that's how that album goes.
Yeah, there was whole sections of songs that I have forgotten.
Yeah, same.
Like I hadn't forgotten, but I'm like, wow, if you sat me behind the kit and asked me to play through that, I would get to that bit and not know what to do.
What was that? Yeah,
which
same.
is I've not had that with songs before. Like I normally remember it, but yeah, it was crazy. I was playing a computer game on Twitch, and I was listening through to. I randomly opened up iTunes and I had Altered State Instrumental, which I don't think I've ever listened to all the way through. So I just hit play on that, and was horrified at how little I remembered of the detail.
That happened to me as well. Yeah.
It was crazy. And I also forgot that Paul from Between the Buried and Me did a massive solo over the end of Nocturne. I'm like, what the hell is this? I had no idea that was coming.
Where did this come from?
And I don't remember this. It's crazy. But I mean, I never sit there and listen to the instrumental versions of these songs normally. So
No. Well, unless it's a new album, we're learning it.
Unless it's a new album.
Different, but yeah.
Speaking of new album, I mean, we're not going to play anything new off the new album.
We can't play anything about that, but, unfortunately. But
we've got...
Could play a jack, but that's what I could do.
We've got one song that sounds kind of...
We've got one pretty much done song.
One pretty much done song.
I'm sure.
And there's a whole folder of stuff that...
And little bits everywhere. Yeah.
Little bits
like
everywhere.
That one I posted on Instagram because I thought it was a throwaway riff, but then everyone's like, "Oh, that's nice." So,
yes.
Okay, we'll use it then.
Yeah.
It's just a... We'll see.
That one's great.
It's kind of cool.
I mean, we just made it sound like shit, but it's really very good.
Yeah, there's lots of little... Oh, that's another one to find later. Just reminded me. Yeah. There's loads of leftover ideas, so to speak, from
literally
Sonder.
So much on your
Just
screen
thought
right
of
now.
one.
There's so many ideas that...
There's some I was trying to find earlier and only just remembered, but I might have to pause it and find that after. Yeah, from Sonder and from Polaris as well.
I've got a bunch of Polaris ones on here.
And I think that's where that clickbait article came from. Tesseract have got 6 hours worth of material left. They're going to release for the new album. It's like, no.
What?
You're skewing our words. It's an interview Dan had with, was it Metal Injection or one of those online web zine things?
Yeah.
And it's something about 6 hours worth of new Tesseract material. It's just like, no, they're twisting the words. No, it's like, no, we've got one song, mate.
I mean, if you literally open the hard drive and click through every
There'll be
demo,
hours worth of material, but
there's probably more than a day's worth.
70% of that is probably the same song, just with slightly different bits in it.
Yeah. Dan's different vocal takes and stuff.
There's lots of stuff though, but yeah.
What's G idea? What's that demo?
Let's play it and find out.
Let's play it.
Take a look inside, become the night, sacred earth becomes the light. I'm not afraid to lose control, I'm not afraid to reach my soul, or elevate to a place so pure. It's a crazy world, can't let it pour. I would lie with you here, my friend, I would lie with you till the end. Would you cry? Would you die? Would you die? I'm not afraid to lose control, I'm not afraid to reach my soul. It's a crazy world, it's a crazy world.
So
Oh, it crashed.
that demo
was G idea.
was G idea, and
But
I want to say that was from Polaris Ideas, because that was not
I think
a
it was pre-Polaris.
Sonder
Yeah, pre-Polaris. Yeah.
demo. That was in
Yeah.
the pile of demos that didn't make it onto. It made it into a very early version of
2014.
Oh, maybe
What's that?
The Arrow.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So I swear it felt like the Arrow vibe-wise, but different. I'm trying to find how the fuck does the Arrow go again? Yeah, just different key. Yeah.
Is it the same as that?
No, it's different.
No, it's different.
But it's got a very
It's the same
similar
kind of
vibe.
vibe.
You can see what I was doing there. You see what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing? Just the vibes very similar. It's different though, but
Yeah,
similar kind of
thing.
yeah.
But I remember that was definitely the end of a song that got changed, and I don't know why we didn't use that. But
I've tried to use it. It's one of those things that's just never.
It didn't quite work.
Yeah, I like it though. Have we used that somewhere? I've just forgotten
No,
about it.
I don't know. Maybe someone listening to this will be, oh, actually, guys, that's part of.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know.
No, I don't
but
think so.
that was one of those examples of a good song that didn't quite make
It
it.
hasn't been used.
Yet.
No.
Let's do. We got two more, haven't we?
Let's do
Do
what's
Feb.
one? Feb. What's the other one? Oh, that one. Yeah.
Fargo.
Okay.
Do Feb. This is.
Right.
Let's give this one a little bit of an intro because
This is old actually.
this is old.
2007. Jesus.
Wow. So, this and Lament. So Eden and Lament were the two newest songs on one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And
That's right.
this one took a long time. So this is a demo for Eden. That
It's a bit long.
it is a bit long, but
Should I skip to the end of it? Or?
no, just play it.
Oh, play it all.
Be all right.
Yeah.
Give people a go.
I can use
And again.
Cubase. There
There
we
you
go. Thank you.
So that's a very early demo.
Dated version of Eden.
Yeah. But we didn't end up using the first riff.
No, but you can hear where the bits came from.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the intro riff to Eden is anymore.
That's still one of the hardest songs to play live.
Yeah.
We have played it live because we just
We did a whole tour of it with Ash
Yeah.
clearly in 2014. But yeah, we never felt comfortable with it, I don't think.
No, I mean it's a very tricky song to pull off live.
Mm.
I don't really know why. There's just something about the groove of that is a very different
Yeah.
feel to everything else that we do.
I remember always having to think about different parts of it, like which bit is it going on.
Yeah.
Kind of like Juno, actually. It's a bit similar to Juno for me.
But we do still talk about doing that song.
Yeah,
Like, when we
I'm up
talk
for that.
about the songs that we'd like to play live, that one comes up.
Maybe
7
now we're ready.
Maybe now, after 12 years. But Eden would be good.
Eden 3.0?
Eden 3.0.
Maybe. I did have a
7
go. I did have a
names.
go at that with the old Sphere drum. Well, Eden 2.0, the drums, your drums, the
Yeah.
Sphere. I had a little play of that the other week. Wasn't feeling it, but
We need to re-record.
I mean, all the drums sound great, but it's just more
Well,
like, I wasn't getting inspiration. But
come down.
I want to. But
Let's do a day. Oh man, I'm supposed to be recording next week with Heights, but maybe we need
cool.
a day where we record. We go into Studio 4 for like
Yeah.
a day
Mm.
and set up a basic recording rig
Or
and just
632,
jam and play through Eden 3.0. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
good.
just have jam in general. So
Just have
yeah.
a jam in general.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, of course.
We talk about doing Eden. We talk about 7 names.
Oh, we could have played. Could that be one to play? If I loaded up the project and exported it.
It depends if you want to put it out on this platform or if you want to save it.
It's not really finished though, is it? Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing with that. That's a work in progress. And 7 names, 0.2,
3.0,
6, 4.
2.5.
I got it right, yeah, that's true.
We've basically re-recorded. We've recorded 7 names a while ago. We did the drums at the Martin Grech studio.
Yeah, at
And-
the same time, yeah. That we did that jam.
At the same time we
Hexes.
did that jam. And it's been sat in the background doing nothing for a long time. And it sounds bloody great.
The drums sound nice, yeah.
But-
But we played 7 names, twice in Australia,
And decided never again.
and realised I'd like to do it again, but I think Dan was just like, it's a song that needs to be played at the end of a set because of the type of song it is.
Mm.
But it's very high for him to sing those notes at the end of a set, which I get. But the Air Eye version is like a tone down or something, I can't quite remember. So it's way more easy to sing. So we're thinking of re-recording it in the key of that, but maybe just groove it up, funk it up a bit, and I don't know, got some ideas
Basically
for it.
do to Eden what Eden 2.0 did, but to 7 names.
Something like that, yeah.
Release that and then be able to play that on a tour.
But I started on it and I was like, why am I spending too much time on this? I should be focusing on album 5.
But it's...
But
Uh,
a bit both, obviously, but
I think it's a worthwhile thing because it's something that we'll be able to...
I'd like to go to that song live. I'd like to be able to play that song live,
Yeah.
but, you know, still have the original vibe, which it will do.
I mean, the
But-
version that you played me earlier was amazing. There's new sections in it and it sounds
Yeah,
pretty
it's still
great.
very rough.
But it still sounds like 7 names. It just sounds like an evolved version.
Yeah.
It sounds like
you can see
a
where I'm
5th
going with
album
it.
version of 7 names. It's
Yeah,
really good.
yeah.
Other songs we'd like to play, I'd say it would be fair to say Tourniquet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Cages.
Cage.
Cages.
That'd be good.
Is it worth talking about how I got the idea for Cages, with the whole Fargo thing?
I'll play Fargo because that's bloody
I'll
great.
just play Fargo. Basically, I got the idea of the intro for Fargo, the whole doo-doo-doo-doo, from an episode of Fargo, the series of Fargo, not the film. And then it became Cages, but...
Let's play
is-
Fargo. Fargo
Are we
is
ever
a
going to use this?
Well, I don't know, but even if we
Doesn't
do,
matter.
it's not going
We'll
to be
play it
this
anyway.
exact thing. So this is
That's true.
this is a riff idea that may become a song one day that we've not used since the Polaris demos, and it's bloody great. We like that one.
Yeah, I want to use that one. I like that.
Yeah.
Potential.
That's got a lot of potential. I mean,
That's
it's been in the
5 years
pot
old, pretty
for 5 years.
4 or 5 years, yeah.
We just haven't. It's just not evolved yet. But
It was almost part of Cages. It's got a similar vibe to Cages. Like
yeah,
Fargo. There's loads of file names of Fargo and Cages, and they're all they were kind of interweave slightly.
but that one hasn't quite turned into a song yet. But
Yeah.
I think
I think it needs to be its own thing. So.
it does need to be its own thing. I think that's a solid enough groove to turn into its own
I
thing.
just don't know where to take it, but I'll figure that out one day when I'm 50.
Well, I think we've played enough demos. What I'd like to do
Mm-hmm.
is wrap up this little podcast with a quick fire round.
Quick fire round. Oh yeah.
So it's just very quick answers to very quick questions.
7.
That's it. I wish that was actually an answer to one of these. You ready? Let me just check this is still recording. Some paranoid because the screen's gone off.
Oh, that's it.
Hey up, pet! We're all right. Okay. Quick fire round. Castle dogs.
Castle. Oh, cats. I thought you said castle dogs.
Castle dogs.
Cats, of course.
Fireflies or war.
Fire.
Sleep or awake.
Oh, fuck it, sleep.
Gyoza or katsu.
Fuck you. Yeah, gyoza.
Rice pie or other pies.
What? It's always going to be the first answer. Rice pie.
Jack Daniels or Jim Beam.
Ooh, Mikey's Mark.
Oh, Maker's Mark, okay.
Got to wear that one, didn't you? You wee bastard. Wee.
Rust or Skyrim.
Oh, I forgot about it. Rust.
Brighton or Milton Keynes.
Brian.
Yeah.
I like Brian.
Carbonara or sweet and sour.
Carbonara forever, man.
Jeff Buckley or the Doors.
Ooh, Buckley,
Bucko.
of course.
Absolute bucko. A 6-week tour in a van and £1,000 at the end, or a 6-week tour in a bus and 20 grand in the hole.
20. What, in debt?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's not a quick. Can't quick fire that. 20 grand in the hole each personally,
No.
or as a band.
You're just walking away like, oh shit.
Well, that's pretty much what we're at right now. What?
So
they're basically the same thing. So fucking.
No, you get to tour for 6 weeks in a van. So imagine like the physical discomfort of being in a van,
Yeah,
but you walk
and
away with it.
Age 3 years.
Age 3 years, but at the end of it, you get £1,000, which is a slap on the dick. Or you tour for 6 weeks in a bus, and you're like, "Yay, I'm a rapper!"
poor.
But then you get to the end of it, and you've got no money, and your business is in the red.
Oh god, it doesn't really matter what the answer is. Does it? I guess the bus, because you fucked either way. Right?
You fucked either way. Crawford Arms or the Pits?
Ooh, yeah, Pits. Yeah, Pits.
Now this one depends on whether or not.
These are good questions. Well done.
That was a good one. Thank you very much. This one depends on. I don't know where the fuck this has come from.
You know me very well.
I do know you very well. I think this has probably got something to do with cats. Sabrina the Teenage Witch or Clarissa Explains It All.
I'll go Sabrina because it was. Is it Salem? Was it the cat?
What's the cat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really funny.
Sega or Nintendo?
Oh, Alex a kid. Yeah, Sega.
Sega.
Yeah, fuck it. It's my first ever game.
Red Ale or Belgian Triple?
No, Red Ale. They're both good, but Red Ale.
Window or aisle?
Like Windows or Mac, but yeah, Window, of course. I want to see the outside of the plane.
Yeah.
It's comfy.
Airports or a bed of nails?
Airports.
Mixing only terrible bands for the rest of your life, but being financially loaded, or being in this band, eventually turning over multiple millions in pounds in tours and seeing only 0.0001% of that because it costs so much to do this.
I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle of both of them right now. So it's like neither.
Oh god.
So I don't know.
I'm going to say mixing terrible bands.
No, the bands I mix are great. That's not what I was getting at.
You just shut yourself in both bollocks.
Oh, god damn it. There's some very... Yeah, it's next.
Next. Eating out of gas stations every day or only eating lettuce for a week?
I'll die. So the first one, the gas station thing,
That's the last question.
just schnitzel
Just schnitzel.
and mystery meat.
Mystery meat. God, that just gave people a really good insight into our real life.
Yeah.
Randomly breaking
If
into
anyone's still listening to
small
this.
Disney songs, terribly out of tune. Well,
Thanks for listening, guys.
thanks for listening, guys. I hope some
If
of
you're
that was
still there.
insightful. If you're still there, if you're still with us. That sounded like a cat coming in.
Yeah, that's the cat trying to kill me.
Is there anything you would like to plug, such as 4D sounds?
After the last thing we just said about that last question, quick fire round about maybe we shouldn't go there. 40sounds.com. Come to me for mixing and mastering. Yes.
If you want your band to sound like
No,
Tesseract,
I enjoy. I really enjoyed mixing and mastering something that isn't my own stuff because I actually quite learn a lot from it. To be fair, if it's done well, if you're a good band and you sound good, I'm going to enjoy mixing it or mastering it.
if you're turd though,
I'll still do it. I'll do the best I can.
he'll just
but-
charge you twice as much.
Jay. They'd be so foul. That's a
I'm only
lie.
teasing. He'll charge you 3 times as much.
Exactly. No. So yeah, I have all my nice analog gear, and I want to use it.
Yeah.
So, 40sounds.com, or as well, I've also got AcleKahney.com. It's got such a big ego. Got like mixing tutorials on there if you're ever interested in, mixing drums and all that bollocks.
Nice.
But I'm going to try and do some new ones, some new tutorials, like we did that. You had that drum cam video of the Athens gig
Oh yeah.
in Greece. I might try and do like a mix it from scratch video thing of that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I did a tester of it, and I did it from scratch, and just was like, oh, this isn't going well. So I don't know. I need to have another go at it. It's weird. Some days go well, some days go bad, even with mixing, let alone writing. So it's a weird one. Yeah.
Just record a bunch and pick the best one.
Yeah. Probably.
Well, back to writing album 5.
Yeah.
We've
got one. We've got another 45 minutes to go or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, at
It'd be
least.
nice to play that song, but no.
Yeah.
Monaco. Been living life in Monaco.
Been living
If you
life
listen to
in
this
Monaco.
in 3 years' time, you'll understand what we mean.
Unless it doesn't make it on the album, but I'm sure it will.
Yeah, it will do.
And if you're listening to this immediately and somehow miraculously this goes out in the next few days, head over to reverb.com
Oh, yes.
/shop/Tesseract
And help fund
because
album 5.
we are selling off a bunch of things that are taking up space in our studios collectively to help fund album 5.
Basically, yeah.
Basically help fund album 5 because we need to be able to eat rice pie and such. So
Gyozas.
and gyozas.
There's
So,
no money in this music we do.
Yeah,
Well, there is, but not enough to
eat rice pie.
live off. Well, rice is expensive.
It's
I
expensive.
don't know where I'm going with that. But yeah.
So tesseractband.co.uk for all things Tesseract, etc., etc., etc. Thank you very much.
Guten Tag. Oh,
Guten Tag, konnichiwa, gepiss. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode of the Tesseract Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please remember to subscribe because you'll get a notification the next time a podcast is available. We are on Spotify, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Podbean, and we're on YouTube as well. So you've got a number of places that you can listen to us. If you want to connect with any members of the band, the best place to do that is probably on Instagram. So if you want to get hold of Acle, go to @AppleAcle, apple as in the fruit, Acle as in his name. If you want to connect with Dan, it's @RockWithDan. If you want to connect with Amos, it is @AmosPremWilliams. James is @James.Monteith.
And me, Jay, I am at J Posthomes. All of those are on Instagram. Thank you very much, and I hope you'll join us next time.